Today I just want to talk briefly about a life of meditation. If you have been on the internet for a while, or if you've read, or if you've been in the meditation, um, if you have an interest of meditation, you already know all the benefits of meditation for creating calmness and for creating resilience within the human spirit. And I just wanted to briefly share all the ways that I am incorporating meditation into my life. In the past, it's early morning now, it's a little over, like maybe a few minutes to 7. And I've been up since about 4 a.m. In the past, when I woke up this early, if I woke up this early in the past, I would try to meditate. I'll try to sit in one spot and do my meditation practice. And many times it was hard. It's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to face yourself in that way. And so many times I would not be able to sit still. I would not be able to just meditate at all. I would be so uncomfortable. But I have started incorporating other forms of meditation, which, in my opinion, is just being present in one's own life. And one of the ways I've done so is by going back to my coloring books. Art is such a meditative practice. Art is something that helps us to get into the flow state. So, just coloring and coloring books have the advantage of already having like an illustration that you just color, right? And you don't have to draw anything, you don't have to think so much. So you can just let your mind be. And so coloring books have really helped me in recent times to build a life of meditation. And I think it's very important that, we incorporate all those aspects of meditation into our lives, like such as going on a walk. Those are things that clear your mind. Those are things that help you to be present with your thoughts and it's present with yourself, and not be so scared to be present with yourself. Because um if you sit down, it's just like trying to, I don't know, if you sit down, it's a it's a hassle. It's like your mind knows that you want to calm it down, and it riots against you. But if you give your hand something to do, if you give your legs something to do, like coloring, going on a walk, you kind of trick your mind into not being so scared. You kind of trick your mind into cooperating with you. And so it's very important for us to build our life as one long meditation practice, rather than carving out maybe 10 minutes, 20 minutes to do meditation, and then the rest of the hours being chaos, complete chaos, and complete absence from the body, complete absence from the mind. It's important that we incorporate meditation into our lives and make our lives a long practice of meditation, rather than making meditation just a little snippet of our lives, and then our remaining hours of the day is just filled with chaos. So one way to do so, maybe do coloring. A coloring book can help you get into the meditative state. Going on walks can help you get into the meditative state. Being intentionally present while doing chores. I found myself meditating while washing, like while doing the dishes. And so meditation is just being present in our lives. That is all meditation is, because distractions help us to cope with life. Yes, they do. They help us to be distracted from, purpose, finding purpose, the meaning of life, all those things, being worried. Like when you're distracted, you're not thinking about all the things that normally worry us, right? You're not actively thinking. I think we're always thinking. For me, at least when you're not meditating, I think you're thinking. When you're being distracted by things, you're thinking, because many times I catch myself still worrying while even trying to distract myself with movies and all that, scrolling underneath the scrolling, underneath the distraction. The whole process of thinking and being worried is still there. But when you meditate, when you're present with your fears, when you're present with your thoughts, it helps you to organize them. It's like a thread, like a tangled web that you organize. And so creating a life of meditation where we whereby we don't just, do the whole stereotypical meditation, but incorporate moments of meditation into our lives can be so much more helpful, and it can make the stereotypical one, in quotes, much more easier for us. And so that is what I've been doing recently. I've been doing coloring. I've been going back to my coloring books. I've been trying to go on walks. I've been, you know, like being trying to be more present while I'm doing dishes. Like I'm trying not to look at dishes as something I just have to get done and, get on to the next thing. I just try and be present in the moment when I'm doing things, like doing like repetitive tasks, like doing the dishes. So those are things that have helped me to those are things that are helping me to create a life of meditation. And the if the result of that is that I'm able to eventually do the one that is the stereotypical one, that I'm eventually able to sit with myself, and you know be present with myself without doing anything. So giving our hands things to do, our legs things to do, that is through movement, and through coloring or drawing or doing the dishes, can help us to eventually sit with ourselves. And I think that helps us a lot, because I feel like life can be so hard, and when we avoid the hardness of life, it gets even harder. But when we think about those things that we are trying not to think about, when we um, take bite sizes of them, it makes the whole process easier for us. Some of the things that my warriors like affect us, distract us, thoughts of financial burdens, thoughts of the future, and all that. And many of us like to avoid them. But I found myself this morning while I was doing my coloring book, being able to take bite sizes of those worrying thoughts and being able to process them even a little. And so those are the reasons why we should try to cultivate a life of meditation, rather than just wait for the 30 minutes or 1 hour that we meditate and then go back to worrying. So what this might look like for someone who has a 9 to 5 is maybe waking up a little bit earlier to do a little bit coloring. That can be the first thing you do. And then afterwards, maybe you read a page or a line or a sentence from a book. That is a form of meditation. But I love the one of coloring, because reading is a bit of an active practice. Like, it's a bit of like you are actively present in something else, but when you're coloring, your mind can drift, right? So the coloring book is really, I really recommend it. And being present when you're doing the dishes, going on walks. Another thing I'm going to talk about is praying. I'm going to talk about is praying. I know that a lot of people have so much qualms with religion. I know that I have qualms with religion, so I know that I have so many thoughts and so many questions about my own faith. I have constantly put my faith through the ringer to test it and all that. And I do not have all the answers, but I know that it helps me to think of something greater than me. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I'm not one of those religious people that think that questioning your faith is something bad, or that it's going to offend God. I think that because I had a loving mother and a loving father, and I was not really an easy child, and I was still loved regardless, it helped me not to think of God as someone that is going to kick you to the cobs because you have questions, or because you're not compliant. My parents really helped me to have an idea of God that is more patient and more tolerant, because they tolerated my own questions, they tolerated my own disobedience is a lot better than maybe some other people. So even when I was not the most easy person to love, my parents loved me even when they were angry with me and would be and maybe withdraw for a while to go and lick their own wounds. They always often came back and were like, oh, we're just doing this because we love you, we're just trying to correct you and all that. So it helped me to have a more favorable idea of God. So I do not think that God is someone that's going to kick you to the curb. Like, how dare you question? Like, because there's so many questions I have about my faith, but still I find that I have peace when I pray. I have peace when I believe that there's someone greater out there that is loving. I have peace. So I do not think I'm right, or I do not think that I 100% know about anything for sure. And I think that it's a bit of it's a bit prideful to say that you know, or you know for sure that there is anything. Honestly, I think if you're like 100% sure of anything, when you are just human, and how old are you? Even though you're old, like even though you're 70 or 80, you're still young when compared to the world. You're still young compared to the lives that have passed through this world and through this earth. There's still so much you do not know. So I do not think that, being too prideful about, like, being too 100% sure about anything is the right way to go. So that being said, I find that faith helps me a lot to cope with the world. And so it helps me to, be productive, praying and all that. And so those are ways that you can build a meditative life, by praying. And for other people, it's like mantras and affirmations can help it. I mean, if you are looking in the mirror and like, oh, I've got this and life is good, and or it will get better, I mean, it benefits you more than being like defeated, right? And I'm not saying that anyone who is defeated is like, is a bad person or that. There are moments in life where being defeated is just the only natural thing to be, right? And so, but I think that when hope comes, like, we should embrace it, because like the yin yang thing, the yin yang symbol, where the dark side has a little bit of white and the white side has a little bit of darkness. Even in moments of darkness and even in the depths of despair, I think that sometimes hope rises, and it's very important for us to hold on to that hope. So even when I was grieving, many times when I was in active grief, active grief, I would have this flickers of hope and flickers of light. And it was because I followed them that I was able to come to the light many times. And I'm not saying that, oh, I'm 100% always in the light. I think that life in general is like a spiral, and sometimes you move towards the light and then you find yourself back in the darkness. And but if you keep moving, you are going to get back into the light over and over and over. So it is meditation helps living a life of like having hope, embracing hope. Yeah, and prayer does that for me. Prayer does that for me. So I pray often. Recently I've been praying more, and I've been liking the effect of praying. And I've also been coloring more. I hope that I could make a video, with very soon, about like maybe a coloring video, a coloring book video. I hope I can do that very soon, because I've really, really been enjoying it. It's not perfect at all, and I was almost falling into the trap of perfection, like, oh my god, I'm not using the right paints and this does not look so good. But who does that benefit? It's not me. So when I let go and I just have fun, it's much more beneficial to me, because I remember being in school and being just so upset about, grades and all that. And I was just like, when I was getting in my head about the coloring book, I was like, you were so eager to leave school. Like, so why are you trying to get yourself back into the school mind where you are being graded? You're not being graded for this coloring book. It's something fun. And it allowed me to have much more fun. And so yeah, those are ways that we can build a life of meditation. Those are ways that we can embrace calmness more in our lives. Or excuse me. Okay, so those are ways that we can build calmness more in our lives. And those are ways that we can, take bite sizes out of the chunks of all the things that plague us. Meditation helps us with that. And I just feel like it's easier to live a life of meditation when it is inbuilt into your life, rather than something that you just have to do and tick off. It's just like people who are fitter in general are people whose lives revolve like around fitness. I don't know how to explain it other than that their lives are just, they go places, they take walks. Oh my god, my alarm is ringing. Okay, so they take walks, and they, they are just generally much more active. They walk places. They like their whole life is like unintentionally a fitness geared life. It's geared towards fitness. So everything they do is just about movement. Okay, so those people are much more likely to be fit than someone who just wants to power through 30 minutes of fitness, like a high intensity workout, and then go back to sitting down for the rest of the hours. So I think it's the same for meditation. Like if we can, wire it into our lives. Like for me, I found that the times when I was like looking at cloud watching, painting more, I was much more like able to do the stereotypical meditation. So and then I was much more able to sit with myself, and I was much more calmer as a result. Okay, so I think that it's easier to live a life of meditation when it is just your life. It's not something that you're doing to get anywhere. It's not a destination. It's just your life. So maybe instead of scrolling for 30 minutes, like an hour or hours, you can just take like 10 minutes to watch the clouds. I find that very, very comforting. And it's easier to do when your eyes have something else to do. Like it's easier to trick your mind to calm down when it's not thinking that you're doing anything to calm down. You're just watching the clouds and seeing maybe images in the clouds. I really love cloud watching because I generally see faces everywhere and images everywhere. I have intense pareidolia. I think that's what it's called. And because I have intense pareidolia, like cloud watching is intensely fun. I see faces, I see images, I see scenes that inspire some of my short stories in the cloud. And eventually, my mind quiets down, right, while cloud watching. And so that is what I just want to share with us today, that we should try to make meditation something that is our life, like not something that we're trying to achieve, but make our lives like little snippets, like little fractions of our life, little moments. Maybe in an hour, you do 5 minutes of something that is meditative, like maybe painting or cloud watching or just watching the birds or whatever it is, or just taking a moment to be present and in your body. So rather than just doing an hour and then going back to worrying, it's better to just take bite sizes of meditation practice throughout your day, and I feel like that will be more beneficial overall. So that will be all. Thank you all for being here. I hope that this has been helpful in any way. If it has been helpful even a little, I will be grateful and I will be happy with myself, I guess. So thank you everyone. See you in my next live, because I've been loving this whole live thing. It makes it easier to make content because I do not have to get ready or dress up. Yeah. Thank you for watching. See you in my next live.